And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And this is Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. My name is DJ TYB, the place to be. We are back at it again. It's a very beautiful day today. Beautiful. If I say beautiful, I mean beautiful in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. But hey, having said it's beautiful, that doesn't negate the fact that the cold weather is upon us. The weather is changing so quick, just like how our music industry is changing so fast. Well, folks, we have a very special guest, one of Africa's best. I'm telling you, one of Africa's best of artists. I would say he's an artist. He's a producer. Well, I don't want to drag it further and further. This is the second stint here on Love Be Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We were discussing something off air, and I indicated that when we started this radio station 5 years ago, his mixes, his music was one of those we started with. It inspired us. So he's a pioneer of this radio station, where this history of the station is um, come to be told somewhere along the line, maybe not in our lifetime, but it's being recorded. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, DJ Neptune. Hi, my brother.
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed, boss man. It's good to be back here again,
Well, well,
having a
well.
great time with you. It's always amazing chopping these conversations and catching up and whatnot.
Well,
So I feel blessed to be back on your show again.
it's always a blessing to have you right here. And like I said, I will continue to say it. Um, you are one of the pioneers who have, you are in the process. Even you haven't even started. You are in the cuspice of producing and making African music great again. So this is what I would say, MAGA. That's
Thank
right.
you.
And this year
Thank
I would
you.
say Mama, making
Ma-
African music. So um, I know a lot about you. You've been here. We've had a discussions before. To the average listener out there, those who are vying to listen to you around the globe, who is DJ Neptune?
All right, so DJ Neptune is he's a producer, a DJ, an artist, all round entertainer. I've been in the game for over 2 decades. I've released singles upon singles, albums. I've toured the world, still touring the world, and I'm just doing what makes me happy. I appreciate God for the talent, and yeah, we're entertaining the world and spreading the greatness ministry
You're doing God's work. You're doing God's work.
in my own way with my
That's
God
right.
given talents.
That's right. That's right. Appreciate that. That's wonderful. My first question to you would be, how did it all get started?
Oh, how did it started? How did it get started? I mean, growing up, I'd always wanted to be involved in entertainment. I just this part of me that was born in for entertainment, to be an entertainer, and I just knew someday my dreams were going to come to pass. I wasn't really sure what aspect of the entertainment sector I was going to be fully active in. But excuse me, but when the time came, I was able to realize that okay, DJing is what it is for me. But before then, I wanted to be an artist so bad, but all of that didn't work out as expected for me. It didn't work in my favor. But I mean, well, here we are right now. We're still active in the music scene, in the entertainment scene, in general, and I'm happy being a DJ, being a producer, and still being an artist as well. Maybe not the man in front with a microphone 247, but putting those amazing collaborations with some of my colleagues, great talented artists around the world.
Mhm. Yeah. You say you wanted to be an artist. Can you elaborate that for the listeners out there? Yes, you are, but I want you to chop it up and then,
All right, so so when
that's
I
right.
s- so when I say I wanted to be an artist, I mean
Yeah.
growing growing up, I used to listen to lots of music, hip hop, R&B, and then before Afrobeats started becoming a thing back in the days, And I used to have one of my uncle come to ours every weekend, mostly on Sunday. He's a choir master in one of them churches back in the days. So he was putting me through voice training, and parents back in the days when you wake up and you say you want to do entertainment, they look at you like, or they look at themselves and where did I go wrong? Like, what what have I not done right?
That's
So
right.
my dad wasn't really in full support of that, so I had to give up on that dream. And along the line, DJing came. I stumbled upon DJing, and I just told myself, okay, I think this will be my comfort zone. So yeah, I went for it.
Okay. So um, you went for it, and when you started, when you got started, how did the parents say, feel? Because I know exactly what you're saying. I wanted to be a musician, back then. You want to do what? You kidding me? Just like you said, right? Because every parent wanted their kids to either be a lawyer, a judge, what have you. But then, in Africa, I think back in the day, it's not like that today, because today everybody has given their children the independence to sort of extract what they want to do. But back in the day, if I can go back, I would say that our talents were suppressed, because
No,
what you
you're
wanted
right.
to do wasn't what you were supposed to do. They expected something else from you. But then if you don't have the interest in it, it means you were forced to do it, forced labor to do it. How did you get around this?
So for me, I've always been a fast learner. And aside from that, I'm very strong-willed in the sense that if I want to do something, even if it's not making sense at that particular time, I still want to see it through the end. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, education is key.
Oh yes.
Education is you can't do without being educated, because regardless of whatever profession you're trying to go into, you still need to be well informed about some certain things. So education is not something I would advise an individual to roll out of their life. um but when you have a talent and it's eating you up, you know you just want to fulfill that part of you that says you're going to excel and you're going to be great at this. And that was my situation back in the days. It wasn't an easy one to convince my folks, but I just had to make sure I did all the amazing things I need to do, so I could, chase my career and be who I am today. Trust me when I say it wasn't an easy one. I had to leave my comfort zone for about 2 years. But while I was out there, I kept on reminding myself, you're out here for a reason, and you have to go back as a successful man. So I'm grateful to God that that was how my story turned out to be. But now, like you said, it's way different from back in the days, because parents now understand that, yeah, you need to be open-minded and give your child an opportunity to chase a career that they want to chase in life. Provided that they also get education as well. But in all of this, I'm grateful I made the move. I'm grateful I did what I did back then, because nothing beats the joy of doing something and then it feels like you're having fun at it. And right now, that's exactly what my life seems like. I'm traveling the world, I'm having fun, and I'm getting paid for it, and I feel very, very fulfilled. So I'm grateful to God for that.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And let's go back to when you started DJing. How did you get yourself prepared? Was there any mentor, somebody that you looked up to and said, "Ooh, this person is doing it"? All of a sudden, I have made up my mind that I want to get into DJing. This is what I want to. Was there anything that prepared you for this?
Um, so my first encounter with the DJ was when I attended a friend's end of year party, and when I saw the guy, because I was familiar with turntables, because my dad had two turntables back at home, so I was always the guy Saturday, Sundays, who would go clean the record, flip it on deck, take the handle, put a pin, and then the sound is coming out from some very mighty Kenwood speakers back in the days, But what I wasn't familiar with was something in the middle of his two turntables, which was a mixer, and I saw him just switch hands, and the music kept on changing, So I was wild with all of that, and when I went home, I just told myself, okay, this is it. So I started doing research on how to be a DJ. I would go online, try to equip myself and be ready for that opportunity because during my time, equipment were very, very expensive.
Yeah.
I'm talking about days of vinyl, and no DJ would just randomly allow anyone to touch their vinyl because any slight mistake, any mark on it, it's gone.
That's
And those
right.
things were very, very expensive in our part of the world. I'm talking about Nigeria to be
Yeah.
precise.
Same.
So but shout out to DJ Douglas. I mean, he gave me his platform, to showcase my talent. I would go to his studio after school hours and just watch him do his thing. Like I said, I'm a very fast learner, so I'm also asking questions as well. But prior to that time, I used to listen to a lot of DJ mixes on radio, get familiar with songs. I already understood BPM, slow tempo, fast, mid tempo. So I was just waiting for that opportunity, and that opportunity came when I went to a party with DJ Douglas. He's based in the UK now. He was DJing, and I mean nature hit him. He had to go use the restroom, and it took longer than expected. So I was there. The music was coming to an end. The party was jumping. So I just summoned the courage, knowing what to play next. I flipped the record, put it on the turntable, tracked the pin. First time I was able to locate my first beat, juggled it up, released it, changed the pitch, mixed it internally in my head because I had headphones on to monitor, and then I just released the fader, and that's how everything started for me. He ran out like, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh, you can DJ really?" And everything just my life, my whole life just changed from there.
Yeah. So how did you feel? Were you nervous?
Uh I mean, at first I was, but then I needed to react because the music was coming to an end. So it's either I just grab the pin and take it backwards, which would have still, I mean, disrupted the party anyway, or I just summoned the courage to mix a new record in, which I eventually did. And like I said, because I was a fast learner, I knew what song would go next. I knew what to do at first, drag my pitch, mix it internally, and the rest became history, man.
And sitting here, I think he rather set you up.
I don't think he set me up, but I mean, you know how like you've been holding that pee for
Yeah.
long,
One
and
time
you
you
can't
want to go.
anymore,
You got to go.
and you can't really put a time to it. I'm sure in his head you're like, you know what, whatever happens, happens. Man, I just need to make myself comfortable,
That's
So
right.
that worked in my favor.
That's right. Yeah.
I guess it was just God's engineering at the end of the day.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. After DJ Douglas's experience, if I can put it that way, now you have had a taste of it, right? Even though you may not have been prepared to do that, you've had a taste of it. When did you take it over and said, now I think I have had a taste of it, so I'm preparing myself to go full speed. Nobody's going to stop me because I was able to hold up my own.
I mean, right there and there, after that experience, he now Douglas now encouraged me to go buy my own pin, and then he made his studio available for me to always come practice. And then from there I started practicing. Started getting my mixes very, very accurate. The transition, the timing, and all of that. Started also learning how to scratch. You know, and from there I started playing gigs. Even though I didn't have my own equipment, I would hire equipment, do the gigs. It wasn't really about the money, but just that fulfillment of doing what I love, and now people appreciating me, for the talents, and everything just grew up from there. And then 4 years after that, I was lucky to get on radio, Raper FM, which was like the first private radio station back in the days. And I did that for straight 6 years. That just blew up my name on a different level, like everywhere around Nigeria. I started getting all sort of gigs, corporate gigs, private gigs, the weddings, and all. Started getting more exposed, and everything was just step by step. And then I started DJing for an artist coordinator, see back in the days, and then everything just grew up from there step by step. Then when it was time to start releasing my music, because that knowledge for music has always been there, and now I've been able to establish my brand to a certain level, have like contacts and all of that. I had to now infuse the music part into the brand and just grow up from there.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very good, great story. So you had a startup. You were able to experience it, and then you took it one step at a time, and then now you're so big. You're bigger than big, if I can put it that way. Um, Now, after doing the DJing, you started into production. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like music has always been something I wanted to do. Even aside from the voice training I was getting every weekend, Sunday to be precise, when we go to church after church service, I'll run to the drum section and just be on the drum making rhythms, and just like I was just doing these things because I loved doing it. I didn't even know what it was I didn't know God was steering me towards a
Hmm.
certain direction where I am right now. So like I said, DJing picked off, music picked off. Then I mean that knowledge for music is always there. It's been established now. Production had to set in, and it's not easy. Trust me,
Yeah.
like trying to do all of these things together and then still tour and do shows and whatnot. But I mean, what I've done is I've been able to set up my platform in a way that I now have producers signed under my label. If I'm doing something, I start, I let them finish, or they start, and I come and put in my finishing touches. And I mean, everyone gets their credit. For me, it's all about growth, and setting, putting the platform in place for the next generation of talents that we have coming back from Africa.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And who was the first artist that you produced or you collaborated with? We're going into the
The
collab.
first artist that I collaborated with and produced was the title of the song is Mr. DJ, featuring Ice Prince,
Mhm.
Shank, and YQ. And the song was
Ooh,
released
ooh.
2008, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2008, 2009. Yeah, 2008 to be precise. Yeah, that was the first record. And from there, it's just been step by step till 2018 when I put out my debut album, Greatness One.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, you've produced other artists. Tell us the one who was so like in the studio who was so easy to work with. We are not going to talk about the one who was difficult to work with. That's not what we want to do. We want to make it easier, right? Because as an artist,
Mhm.
even if you have a band, like I have led bands and stuff like that, it's not easy to work with other people if they are not in sync with what you're doing, if they don't understand the whole concept of where you want to take your music to and stuff like that. Because I'm saying this to say that it was so difficult putting bands together. There were some who knew exactly where we wanted to go until when it got to a point where they said, you see where this guy is going. And then, not until we got to the point where we started getting our awards, right? Then it's like, oh, this is it. It's not all about the money. Some people put the money ahead of this, ahead of it. It's not all about money. Once you're able to labor and then sacrifice, everything will be added onto it. Who was the one that he says, okay, this person um, sees where I am going with it? Because back in the day, it was very difficult. We will get to that to DJ and then produce or collaborate with people. It was only about, hey, I got my equipment, let me go and DJ, and then that's it. I don't want to have anything to, because the industry is changing. We'll get to that one too. The industry seriously changing. So how are you able to maneuver around it?
So for me, when I'm making music, there's really no rules to how I go about it because it's how you're feeling at the time,
Mm-hmm.
the situation you're in, and how well prepared you are. But sometimes with creating music, music is spiritual. You can think you're going into the studio and you spend the whole day creating a track, and then the synergy is just right. The artist walks in, and in less than 30 minutes, you already have something that you can call a track.
Yeah.
I've had situations like that. A few of them on this particular new album I released. One song that it was in this situation would be Never Settle for Less with Hot Kid. I was having a recording camp. A friend of mine called Doze was around, and Doze was like, "Oh, I just left Hot Kid. I mean, it would be great to have him on this project. Let me see if he's available to pull up at your studio." And he placed that call, and Hot Kid said, "Ah, okay, I'm pulling up. I'm coming. Let's see what we can do." And while he arrived at mine, I took him into the studio. One of my producers, Tim Bomb, he was playing a particular beat that he had just worked on. And Hot Kid heard the beat. Immediately, he walked into the studio. And the next thing on his mind was, can I have the microphone? And
Yeah.
boom. I mean, like he had not listened to the beat on his way down to my studio. He heard it the moment he walked in, grabbed the mic, and then just went in, and like in less than, I would say, 15, 18 minutes, we were done with the song. So it was just a quick session, and when it was done, like, oh bro, I'm off. I mean, this was a very smooth, quick session. So whereas I've also had sessions whereby, I mean, I create the music, but in my head it's still not there. So I go back to revisit it and make sure it's up to the standard that I want to put out. So like different mode, different vibe. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the end product has to be quality, and that's what I've always been after.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's so great to, you know, recognize the fact that once you put in a lot of work and then you listen to it, sometimes as soon as you listen to the stuff, you say, damn, this is it. I got it.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
vibe is there. The vibe is real, real, real there. So let me go for it. That's great. And right after that, like you've been moving gradually, you were moving gradually, you got to a point where you became the face. I would say the face. Um, and you were recognized with awards. Tell us about your first award.
Hmm. My first award uh, as a DJ,
Yeah,
that was
I think it was 20,
it
2010.
was Nigerian Entertainment Awards.
That's right.
Yeah, in New York. This was uh 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't win that category. But the next year, 2009, I was nominated again, and I won. And then that was my first ever award, and it's such a blessing because that was my first time traveling out of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, my first time entering an aircraft. So who could have thought that that local DJ from Nigeria,
That's
who
right.
started his career, his
Mhm.
dream wanted to be so, or his dreams were suppressed, but he fought hard, to get to where he was as at that time. I mean, my mom, she was very proud when I was flying out. She was
Of
very,
course.
very proud,
Of
and
course.
I mean, it's just been growth from growth. I think the next award after that was in Malaysia, and it's been a very interesting, blessed journey. I mean, and I'm just grateful to God for everything I've achieved so far.
Yeah, you have drawn my attention to that fact. You see, off air, we were talking about Indonesia and in Malaysia. It seems there are some countries that, if we come to sit about, around September. No, they don't listen to our type of music and that kind of stuff. But the moment I heard that mix of yours, it started turning my ear, and I said, as a matter of fact, we have a lot of listeners from Singapore, from that area there. So tell me, how were you able to maneuver into that thing? And I said to myself, man, this man, this man self, make a look at.
So I mean, like, I think it's the fact that we've put in so much work over the years, and aside from that, I mean, our genre Afrobeat has gone global. It's gone really, really big, and for everyone who's put in work over the years, they are also able to benefit from what everyone is enjoying right now. Also with the help of internet, social media, and whatnot. My first, like I said, 2009 or thereabout. That was my first time going to Malaysia, and after that, I've been to Malaysia like 3 to 4 times. But when the gig in Indonesia, Bali to be precise, the first gig came in 2023. I was excited, like, oh wow, okay, we're going to Indonesia. Like, who knows DJ Neptune in Indonesia? Like,
Yeah.
you know. And then I got in. It was an amazing experience. I didn't get to stay for that long because it was a quick in and out. But
Mhm.
it was an amazing night because I mean, Bali is a destination place. You have people from different parts of the world, so I already understood the assignment that, like, in as much as I'm from Africa,
Yeah.
I'm expected to play more of like African music, but I'm a global DJ who understands that everywhere I go to, the vibe changes, the vibe is different. So I was able to obviously kill the party. And then the following year, I mean, they wanted me back in Bali, and that was when I made the mix. And I was on a proper Asia tour then because we went from Bali to Malaysia and then Malaysia to China. I did 5 cities in China. I was in China for like a week. I know when I was in China, people were messing my colleagues like, bro, what are you doing in China?
What's
Like, you
going
didn't
on?
listen to Afrobeat in China.
Damn.
I'm like, listen, I did 5 cities. I did Guangzhou, I did Shanghai, I did Xi'an, I did Beijing. I can't remember the last one. Like, it was amazing connecting with the people out there as well. And that's what music does. Music, I mean, is a very powerful tool. Regardless of where you're from, music is a universal language that unites the world together. So once the music hits you, the melody takes you away. The rest is history, man.
Yeah, in Malaysia, you got the African Entertainment Awards, Best International DJ.
Yeah.
How, damn, how did you feel about it? No, tell me
Ah,
about that. Tell
I
me.
mean, I don't know. To me, like, I'm not the type to brag, but I
Yeah,
think like we've basically done a lot than the newer generation would even realize. And that's what I tell people. You can't buy experience; you have to earn it. And that's what has happened to my career, and I'm just grateful. When those awards were coming in, it's just a result of the hard work that has gone in. This is far back as 2009. Internet, social media wasn't a thing back then. So imagine if we had all of that accessibility back
uh,
in the days. It would have been
oh,
it would have been insane. But
yeah,
regardless, now that we have it, everyone has to adapt, still be in the conversation,
yeah,
and just take advantage of what is in front of you. So I'm grateful for all the awards, all the great moments. I'm still here doing what I love to do. I'm not retiring anytime soon. In fact, my journey just started as far as I'm
I told you
concerned.
right from the beginning. I
Yeah,
told you.
so I'm just blessed.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there you are listening to Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. This is Highway 6 to Africa with Africa's best, yes, DJ Neptune. By the way, let me give you, we've been talking about his awards and his during his journey. 2009 Nigerian Entertainment Awards, Best World DJ USA. 2009 Touch Awards, Best Nigerian DJ. Dynamics All Youth Awards, that's 2010. 2010 again, African Entertainment Awards, Malaysia. That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, yeah.
2011 NPA Awards International, Atlanta. And 2014 NEA Egypt Best World of DJ. Oh my God. 2015 Ghana Awards, Best Non-Ghanaian International DJ, 2018 City People Award, Album of the Year Nigeria, 2018 again, folks, DJ Loaded Award, Album of the Year Nigeria, 2018 again, Sound City MVP Award, Best African DJ, 2020 United DJ Africa Song of the Year, 2020 CPE African Award, Most Celebrated DJ, 2020 GMA Award, Song of the God. Where do you keep all these awards? My
I
God.
know, Marak. My shelf is literally full back home in my studio,
Oh,
and now
gee,
I have to create more space because there's still more awards to win.
man. And it doesn't even end until 2024 when you won the Unilag Award, Outstanding DJ of the Year.
Thank you.
My God. Folks out there, you know what? Let's give a big hand for a job well done. And I
Thank
really,
you.
really also would like to say, hey, DJ Douglas, you did a good work. You were setting him up for greater things, and you know what? And then you
Yeah.
did it. And you are just starting. You are just starting 2024 to pick. I don't even want to count how many hours there. My follow-up question would be: how do you balance your professional work and traveling around? How do you do that?
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy in the sense that in less than a week, I've been in two different continents, three different countries. I was in the US last week. I flew out and then straight to Lagos, Nigeria to go do a show in Burkina Faso on Saturday. Flew back to Nigeria to go to Abuja on Tuesday to do a show. Leave Abuja Wednesday to come to the UK to have my listening on Thursday. Tonight I've got two gigs, one in Milton Keynes, one in Birmingham in the UK. And it's not easy. Like these days, I just literally get on the plane and sleep. That's where I sleep these days because it's insane. Like I've not been to I don't think I've lived in my home back in Nigeria aside from when I was having my recording camp early this
Yeah,
year. From March to now, I don't think I've stayed one or one and a half straight week. Like
yeah,
I'm out off to somewhere. It's
yeah.
crazy, but I mean, I'm
It's
thankful
a
and
job.
grateful to God because this is what we pray for.
That's right. That's
This is
right.
what we pray for. I'm grateful for the strength as well because
Yeah,
sometimes I ask myself, like, how do you do it? I'm doing flights back to back. And I could be very crazy. You land into a city, straight to your hotel. Before you know it, it's time to go sound check. It's time to DJ. And from the club back to your hotel, probably 2, 3 hours sleep.
tell me
Off to
about
the
it.
airport, to the next location.
Tell
I'm,
me
I'm
about it.
grateful. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Um, I had about a 10 city tour a couple of years ago, and what was interesting is how and when I was introducing the group, and I was said like I was saying, "Hello, Toronto." Meanwhile, I was in New York. I got mixed up. Say, no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, I know the
It can
feeling.
be crazy. It can be
It,
crazy
it is,
sometimes.
it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know exactly what you're doing. Um, how would you advise somebody who wants to get into this business?
It's simple. Just stay true to yourself. That's the best you can do, or rather, any individual can do to themselves. Just be truthful to yourself. Now, people trying to get into the act because they feel it's like a shortcut to getting famous, an avenue to make side bread money and whatnot. No, it's a profession,
Profession.
an act on its own that needs to be well respected. If you're going to go into it, make sure you learn and understand the basic. Don't just come into it because you see a Neptune in London today, tomorrow in Atlanta, the next day in South Africa. Be like, oh my God, he must be having the best of his life. There's a lot of work that needs to go in, a lot of dedication, professionalism as well. And because you're dealing with people. Clients are paying you because they believe you're a professional. They're not paying you for you to now come back and give them problems that they don't want. All of that you need to factor into this act if you want to go into it. And the most important thing I tell people, learn the basic and practice more. You might think, oh, I've got XYZ followers. I'm an influencer. Let me just go into it. And that's cool. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be caught up in the situation whereby people come to your party, they see you and like, oh, he or she is really not all about being an actual DJ. That hurts. You don't want to have such a backlash. So take your time, learn the basic, stay focused, and just grow from there.
And what would my another question would be, can you tell us a moment in your life, or yeah, during this journey that you said, you know what, this is great, this is great, and a very, this is very special to me, and because there might have been a lot during this career. Would you be able to share with us one
That
such
would
moment,
be,
and then another such moment that you said, "Hmm, sheesh, this is not for me." I'm not. I know you're going to say, no, this is not. This is for you, but you're not going to say this is not for me. But there might have been something there that you said that really, really broke your back and said, "I give up. I give up." But then the spirit was willing. If the body was weak, the spirit was willing.
I mean, to be honest, the way I perceive life is, I'm an easygoing person. If it's working, it's working. If it's not working, that's not the right time. So I don't put myself under pressure. I just go with the time, and when the timing is right, we achieve that which we have set out to achieve. And in terms of like moments whereby I've felt really, really fulfilled, that would be my first trip to the US. Getting on a plane, leaving Nigeria, Africa, and flying all the way to the US. And what's taking me there, being nominated as an award, being nominated as a DJ at an award ceremony. That made me feel blessed. But even though I didn't win that year, there was a Nigerian reunion event that used to happen annually in Washington D.C. I mean, for the fact that I was around, I got booked for that. My first time DJ in the US, and it was an amazing party. The reception I got at the end of my set was very, very fulfilling for me. And at that moment, I knew that, okay, yes, but we're heading somewhere. We've arrived.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you are right from the time that DJ Douglas went to the washroom and I didn't carry that, and you summoned the courage to do what you had to do, and then that has really helped. And you know what, the good Lord was setting you up for something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, where we are right now, um, now we're talking about. I mean, we were chatting briefly off air that the industry is changing, and back in the day we had artists touring, but today you and others like Shinsky, DJ Shinsky, and others,
Yeah.
you've been touring. What has brought about that change? Because artists are not touring anytime soon, but now you can just get up, boom, you're in Malaysia. Tomorrow you are in Burkina. You are in Amsterdam. We are not seeing artists doing that, but now DJs are doing it. You and some other DJs that have come. What has been the change?
I mean, there's been a culture shift, to be honest. Culture shift in the terms that people want variety now. Yeah, no disrespect to our superstar artists. I mean, they would always go out to perform and do what they want to do, but I feel people now just want variety. you know. And if you're a DJ who understands your onions and you've worked hard you to that level, I mean, you'll obviously be in the conversation. Culture has changed in the sense that people want to dance more, people want to have a good time, people want to party, people want to have different flavors in the course of the whole night, and that's where a good professional DJ comes into play, understanding the crowd, giving them what they want, and that whole idea of sitting down, being on your phone, and thinking you're having a good time. That era has gone. Everyone just want to be on the dance floor, dance and feel the party. Like when I say party, like that rave type of energy party, and that's where the DJ comes in heavy because the DJ can handle their set for like an hour, 20 minutes, 3 hours, 4 hours, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and that's where the variety comes in. But if you have an artist, which happens, do a long set at some time in the night in the course of the show, some people will get bored and tired. So I feel like I said, there's been a very very serious culture shift, and that has helped the DJ. So if you're way there, if you're way up there, probably some, I don't want to say based on your music catalog, well, that also might play a key role. But if you know your job, if you know how to kill a party, you'll definitely get booked. You'll definitely be in the situation, in the conversation rather.
Yeah. And do you think with this cultural change with AI and all these kind of stuff is even adding to to the acceleration of the change?
Um, I wouldn't say yes, and I also wouldn't say no. But I think it's just an element of different things. There's attention span as well. People
Mhm.
just want to listen to different stuff. Like 2 minutes, I'm getting tired, I'm getting bored. Give me something fresh to keep the excitement going on. So I think that's what it is majorly. AI can do whatever he's doing, but AI can read emotions.
That's right.
I might be feeling down and sad, and AI is giving me
Yeah.
something to make me feel down the more, instead
Yeah.
of giving me something like a Rema or Zeba or something to uplift my spirit. But shout out to the whole IT guys. Not trying to knock anyone's hustle off. It is what it is. The world has gone digital. We just all have to adapt to it. But still, we know there are some realities that can't change what has been in place and what people have been used to.
Yeah. Yeah, like I always say that when cars were being introduced, they had a horses drawn thing. People say, "Oh man, if you do that, it's going to kill us." But today, the horses rather, when you see people, in most European countries and in North America, it's a fashion. It's cultural. It's like you want to belong to it. But now we have cars, right? We have cars, so I mean, the change we have to embrace. We have to embrace that change. Now let's talk about your new project.
Okay.
Tell us about the work that we put into it, and then where you are right now. That the whole world should just sit back and say, "Yes, another one is on the plate," and we just have to
Okay.
go.
I mean, shout out to thanks to you for always having me on your show. The last time I was here, we spoke about my album Greatness 3, which was the third installment. Now we're on the fourth installment, which is Greatness 4. Today happens to be October 25th. So Greatness 4 is just a month old now, because I released it last month on my birthday, September 25th.
Ah,
And yeah, and this album, I went to a complete different route. Like I took a different route on this project, in the sense that um I wanted to work with young talent, is what I've been doing. I did that on Greatness 3 as well. But I just told myself it was about spotlighting the talents that we have back home in Nigeria. A lot of them are doing amazingly well, but they don't have the opportunity to step their career to the next level. So that's where I came in heavily on Greatness 4 and challenged everyone to bring in their best A game. So this album is a 14 track album.
woo.
The album speaks hope, faith, self-confidence, love, having a great time, understanding what it means like being in the streets, and just enjoying music in general. So there's full Afro beats, there's dancehall, there's a piano on that Afro house P, there's street music, there's gyration music, and then there's a particular song on that album, My Girl with Beritiga, track 5, which caters to the wedding audience. You're about to propose to
Oh,
your wife. You're
woo.
walking down the aisle. That's the song you want to listen to. You understand.
Yeah.
So I was very direct with this project, and I'm happy how everyone has received it, because it wasn't about the big names. And for me, it wasn't going to be about the big names. I wasn't chasing sudden hits. Rather, I was creating beautiful music that will eventually become big hits and now turn out to be evergreen record. And From the first track to the last track, trust me, is a no skip album. Once Amin comes on, which is the first track, to Streets, which is the last song, I beat my chest. You can't skip no song.
I
Trust me. So
know that. I know that.
I had
I
to
know
bring my,
that.
I had to bring in my A&R expertise as well in terms of the sequencing of the track. So it wasn't just about creating the music, having the amazing collaboration. It was also about the sequence as well. Once you hit play from the
Yeah.
first track, you just go about doing your stuff and you're enjoying beautiful music. So shout out to everyone I worked with on the project, the artists, the my co-producers, Tim Bomb and NYPR, Ugly and Tough. We all did something on this project and everyone is loving it. Like I'm in the UK right now doing media rounds and every radio station I've gone through, they'll be like, nah, you did something amazing on this one.
We do your stuff 24/7, so that it's not.
Yeah, I mean you
We
guys
do
your
we do it
quality support has been
24/7.
crazy.
you know. So well, who are some of the artists who worked on the?
Okay, so track one has Ria. Ria, she's 19, a
Ooh,
young girl. Yeah, featuring Kabusa Choir. Kabusa Choir is a well-established choir group based in Nigeria, Abuja to be precise. Track two has Ribina. Katampe is the title of that one. Track three has Mo Logo, Come With Me. Track four has Laz and Dera, Money I Get. Laz and Dera are Wandeko's new signee onto his label. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Wandeko. Track five has My Girl with Berry Tiga. Track six has Alima with Sean and Timmy Martins. Track seven has lyrics on that one. No kiss and tell. I mean, the ladies don't want you to come and do what you have to do, and then I'll go out and expose them. So that,
right.
and also the other way around. So that's that. And then track eight is with Swavy, Dance No Dance. Track nine with Hockey, Never Settle for Less. Track 10 with Gucci, Running. That's on that R&B dance. Or the next track with Kojo Black, Taliban. Kojo Black is from Ghana. And then after that, I have Good Mood, Good Vibes with Kiki Moteleba from Ivory Coast, catering to the French speaking country as well. And then the next track is Jeje Laye with Portable. Um, Nobody saw that collaboration coming, but it's doing what it's doing. And then the last track is with Bola Mighty, and that's titled Streets.
Wow, wow, wow. Talented artist. But let me follow it up with this. How were you? How did you? Let me put it. How did you know that? Okay, this track I'm going to give it to that person, and that person, and I'm going to do it to that person. And how did you arrange that? I'm curious.
So like I mentioned earlier, when I'm making music, there's really no rules. Even sometimes I already have a direction I want to go to,
Mhm.
but then I'm also flexible as well with whoever creative I'm working with. For me, the end goal is just to have a very solid project that we're trying to sell to the world. So I'm always there in the studio, letting the artists know this is the direction I have on my mind. Let's listen to the beat and open up our minds and see if this works for you. If it doesn't, we can always go a different route. So that's how I've always functioned in terms of my music. And I just make sure the synergy is right as well. So we're not just getting into the studio and we're talking through life, getting familiar with what's happening around us, and then gradually we get into making the music.
Yeah. Yeah, how long did it take you to put it all together?
So I started my recording camp in January this year, and in about 12 weeks, I was done. I was done
Hmm.
recording all the songs. Yeah, because I was very deliberate with that. Because I know January, February, that time of the year is still a bit slow. So it will be easy for me to stay focused and do what I want to do. So it was just every day, almost every day, recording sessions, different artists coming in, and then we're just catching a vibe. And in less than 12 weeks, I was done recording the album.
Which also brings into question what we were discussing about the difference between back in the day and now, because back in the day you wouldn't have been able to completed in the
Hell
studio.
no.
No, 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 no.
Hell no.
No, because you have to
Everything
book
has been
studio
digitalized
time
now.
and all these kind of stuff. All these, you know, the studio owner is sick and those kind of listen. Now everything is right in your, you know, right with you, and you know what. And even now with the equipment, now we have battery powered mixes, right?
I have one of those. I don't know if you've
We
seen
just
my
got
I
even
don't know if
battery
you've seen my
powered what? Battery powered my what do you call
I
it?
don't know if you've watched one of my in-flight mixes. Yeah, I have a self-powered mixer. People ask me like, "How are you flying in the plane and you're doing a
That's
DJ
right.
mix?" I
That's
mean,
right.
that's technology. You just have to advance with it and catch up with what the world is doing right now.
Yeah. So it makes it easier. Just like how I was trying to say, the industry has changed, and then it seems a lot of people will have to change, adapt to what is actually happening. Because we had an artist here, Perfect Gidimani. He's a dancehall artist in Jamaica, and Kati Matete. Kati is from Kenya, and he sent a track to Kenya within 24 hours. It was done. Masterpiece.
That's the power. That's the power of technology.
Technology.
Everything has gone digital. Like you said, back in the days, it wouldn't have been easy for me to have this old 14-track album recorded in 12 weeks because everything is analog. And the moment you make a mistake, that
Yes.
whole recording is wiped off. We have to start
So-
all over again. But that's the power of technology, softwares, recording softwares. Like everyone can literally sing now,
That's
no
right.
matter how bad your voice is. Like
Yeah.
the software can, I mean, with good tweaks here and there, if you have a good sound engineer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
where that might hurt is when it's time to perform on stage, when you're about to do
That is.
live music.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
that's why you see some artists are studio artists and they're not really like live performing artists.
Thank you. It's a good thing you brought in this because last week we had Petra and I. By the way, she says hi. Petra and I
Hello.
say yes. We had a very extensive conversation and which had a lot of it went viral about the fact that you know what with these new technologies, right? There's a good side of it and the bad side of it. Means copyright laws has got to be rewritten. Notwithstanding that, um, it's changed the way that we're going to be looking at things because the way is there for artists to be able to go out there to perform if they want to make money. Because there are a lot of artists who, if you give them the mic and then ask them to stand, to be on stage, they will run away. They'll be singing off keys and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
So the
Yep.
future belongs to artists who are able to perform live, just like what you're saying. So the industry has changed, and I don't know whether I would say that it's changed for the best or for the worst, but we have to embrace change because it's not going to change.
Exactly. However we want to see it, we just have to
It is
embrace it.
there.
If you don't embrace it, you literally just play yourself out of the conversation.
That's right.
You
Out
know,
of
you,
out,
you have
out.
you have to catch up with the new social platforms,
Mhm.
be active. I mean, I try my best. It's not easy. Like sometimes when I have to wake up in the morning, post on Instagram, post on Twitter, post on Facebook, post
Oh,
on Snapchat, post on TikTok, I'm like, what the hell? This wasn't how I started. Like,
that's right.
what, what you have to do it now?
That's right.
It is what it is. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So my final question will be: how do you want to see yourself 5 years from now?
Hmm.
And yeah, 5 years from now.
5 years from now, I mean, I'll still be very active. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, it would be on a different level. Still DJing, yes, still putting down music, yes. But I feel more of like a record executive because I really want to push out my label now, Neptune Records. Start having young, talented artists signed on there and start projecting the new generation to the world. Going to be having a lot of workshops, seminars as well. Try to because I feel something that's missing in our conversation in our genre is history. A lot of history are not being told to the younger ones, and that's why there's a tendency for for some of them to go astray to think they just woke up and everything just worked because they are who they are. People labored for this. People labored for me to be where I am today,
Yeah.
to be on this show with you, to be able to travel around the world, win all those amazing awards. I mean, whatever it is I've done has been done before and will be done after me. So we need to guide the next generation towards the right path. And
The
yeah,
legacy. The legacy.
yeah, and basically just do great stuff, do more great stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, you know what? How can people reach you? But before you do that, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our queen, Richardine.
Yeah,
Our queen, yeah, Richardine has,
Richard Dean
yeah,
holding
that's
us
right,
down,
that's right, that's right.
holding the
She
culture
has
down.
been somebody that I look up to in terms of, like, she's a sister, and she has done what she's done and continues to do that to bring the music to the forefront, no matter what it is. Because I know this industry is like a jungle, right? If you lose sight of a little bit, you'll be eating alive for lunch. But
Yeah,
then you have to muster the courage to be in there because there are pitfalls left, right, and center. But I mean, I respect her for what she's done and continues to do. And Richardine, kudos to you.
yeah.
Um,
Big
big
love to
love,
you.
big love,
Big
big
love,
love.
big love.
And yes, how can people reach you, and how can people get the new project in?
Greatness 4 by DJ Neptune is available on all the musical platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, name it. Whatever you use is on there. On YouTube, we've got two music videos out. The first track, Amin, featuring Ria and Kabusa Choir, the video is on YouTube. You should go watch it because that song would uplift you regardless of whatever situation you found yourself. Dance No Dance with Swavy is also on YouTube as well. Kojo Black, Taliban, we shot the video for that. That's going to be dropping any moment from now. But just go listen to the album and then hit me up with your comments, with your views, with how you feel on my social at DWEJAY Neptune. That's one word, DWEJAY Neptune on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook. On Snapchat is DJ Neptune TV. On TikTok is DJ Neptune TikTok. Let's connect. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's talk. And I'll definitely holler at you back. Thank you so much. And you can stay in touch on my website as well, www.djneptune.net. If all of that is too much for you, you'll find all my socials on there, or soundsofneptune.com. That's for the DJ Neptune parties and rave that we're also pushing heavy.
Well, folks, need I say more? And on that note, we have this. I would have wanted us to go on
I
and on
know, I
because
know, I
the
know, I know.
conversation is so good. Like,
I mean, we'll always do this. We'll always do this. We'll always do
you
this. It's
know,
always good.
yeah, it's like catching up at all times. And you know what? You are a masterful, nice person with humility. And I'll say, continue to do what you're doing because God has set you up. And I thank
Thank you.
DJ
Thank you.
Douglas. I will never forget it. The
Yes,
washroom
yes,
episode, right? And
yes.
you were being set up for something good. And all that I can say is that we have to believe in ourselves, in our capabilities, what we can do. We have to push it because you know what, today we have some disappointments, and we don't have to lose sight of the fact that you know what the French have. They have the word pain. Pain is bread, and bread you have to fight to be
For
able
it.
to put food on the table to be able to eat. So you know
Yeah.
what, this is what it is. And until next week, take care of yourselves and each other. Remember, Neptune rules. Bye bye.
Big love. Thank you. Bye.